Let's take a simple example. A person takes both hands, the right hand and the left hand, and holds them far apart. Now you can stretch a rope between them, right? From the left hand to the right hand, or the other way around. Let's say we use this rope, the rope between the left hand and the right hand, as an example for time. Time always moves in one direction, from the past to the future. So let's say the left hand is the past and the right hand is the future. The whole journey of time in person's life moves from left to right. The other way around is impossible. You cannot move from right to left. In other words, time goes only one way, and there is no way to change that, unless a person slowly begins to understand what zero really means, the circle. Why? Because this rope between the two hands is just an example. We could also use any opposites, north and south, up and down, left and right, any opposites at all. Now the mind sees either the right hand or the left hand, or sometimes it sees both, but not truly together. It sees them as two separate things, this or that. Now if we keep holding the rope with the left hand and take the loose part of the rope and slowly bend it towards the right hand, what happens? The rope turns into a circle. The straight line, when it's folded, becomes a circle. And this is the reality of zero, a reality that exists beyond time. So if we take a line that can move only in one direction, we take the rope and fold it back to the beginning, we get a circle. And when we get a circle, time becomes two-way. This is the kind of time that exists beyond time, the time of zero. So in reality beyond time, in the reality of the circle and not the line, everything can be the other way around. In this world where time is one way, let's say from left to right, the father comes first and then a child is born. The father creates the child. Or you must build a first floor, then a second floor, then a third floor, step by step, always in one direction. Or take another example. A person thinks about something. First, there is a thought, a picture in the person's mind. Only after that, the person turns the thought into action. They build a thing or create the thing they first thought about. In other words, the thought creates the action. But in the reality of the circle and the triangle, time can also move in two directions. That means that when we take the past, which we said is the left hand, and fold it into a circle toward the right hand, we see that the end is connected to the beginning. So in this kind of reality, it could be that the child gives birth to the father. In other words, the last creates the first. There are endless examples of this, but we'll take just one to keep it simple. So we can also see that the action, for example, the child, is the action of the father and the mother who gives him life. The child is what came out of their thought. They thought about it, they did the act, they turned the thoughts into action, and that action is the child. This is how it works in the reality of the time. But in the reality of the circle, the child can create the parents. In other words, the action, which is the child, can create the thought that created him. So in this example, if we do an act now in a reality that exists beyond time, we can recreate the entire history. We can actually change the whole story. That means that everything that went wrong in the past, all the damage, all the chaos, even in a person's own life story, the act we do now creates a new thought, and that new thought will create a new world, one that has no connection to the history that existed until now. This is just one small example of what zero really means.